In this week's AMT John Deere Fresh Produce Market overview, made possible by John Deere, FieldNet Birdwatch and the International Fresh Produce Association, we look at the latest price movements on the fruit and vegetable markets of South Africa and see that prices might start to increase soon due to higher month-end demand that is expected. All in this week's episode, so make sure to stay tuned. Jumping straight into the latest economic news, the rand's currently trading at 18.35 per US dollar, with the dollar weakening slightly due to President Joe Biden dropping out of the election race. Our local interest rates were left unchanged last week as was expected, and I think we will only see a lower interest rate locally once the United States also lower their interest rates as well. However, some economists expect that we could see a decline as early as September, but unfortunately, inflation remains stubbornly high at the moment at 5.2%. In the meantime, the People's Bank of China dropped their interest rates in an attempt to kickstart their economic growth. This resulted in the latest Brent oil price to stabilize on Tuesday on $82.50 per barrel, while the possible ceasefire in the Gaza Strip also pushed oil prices slightly downwards over the past week. The average national potato price stayed sideways on 58.49 per 10 kg despite volumes dropping by about 10% week on week. The large potato price traded on 65, mediums on 62 and smalls around 40 rand per 10 kg. Mondale's traded lower on 58, Sifra's slightly higher on 63 and Lenormand's on 55, with the average price on the Joburg market trading on 56 rand per 10 kg last week. We're still expecting the average potato price to start increase in the next few weeks and potentially reach a peak towards the start of September due to the severe frost experienced in Limpopo. We are also expecting the price of large and extra large potatoes especially to shoot up during this period. This week, however, we already saw better prices, but it's not necessarily the impact of the frost yet, but rather a combination of higher month-end demand and lower volumes due to some regions finishing up their production at the moment. The tomato price increased by about 30% the past week to 12 rand per kilogram, with volumes decreasing by 12%. Large tomatoes traded on 12.26 rand, mediums on 13.55 rand, while smalls increased to 10.39 rand. There were also some reports of frost damage, but I think that this increase is more due to higher month-end demand at the moment. Expect this price to decrease over the next few weeks or towards the middle part of August. As expected, the average carrot price decreased to 3.92 per kilogram, while large carrots traded on 4.37, mediums on 3.15 and smalls on 3.49. Higher volumes expected from now until October will most likely keep this market under pressure over this period, while higher demand over the next week can result in slightly better prices on the markets. The average onion price decreased as was expected, trading on 77.23 per 10 kg, with brown onion prices lower on 76, red onions also dropping to 184, while white onions decreased to 73 rand per 10 kg. The average large onion price traded on 71, mediums on 85 and smalls lower on 63 rand per 10 kg. We're still expecting this price to continue in its downward trend from here on out as more volumes will continue to put pressure on this market. The higher potato price that's expected will also draw demand away from the onion market. The average pepper price increased to 15.72 rand per kilogram, while green pepper prices decreased to 14.79 rand. Yellow peppers increased to 17.64 rand, while red peppers traded higher on 14.84 rand per kilogram. I think that this price will continue to increase over the next 2 weeks at least due to higher demand that is expected, as well as the impact of the frost in Limpopo, and that can have an additional upward effect on pepper prices soon. Join the excitement around FieldNet Pivot Watch. Experience unmatched monitoring of any pivot, anytime, anywhere, offering complete peace of mind on your farm. FieldNet Pivot Watch is not only cost-effective, but also time-saving. Ready to transform your irrigation? Contact your nearest Zimmatic dealer for a quote on FieldNet Pivot Watch now. Looking at other market prices, we saw cabbage prices decreasing to 3 Rand, while garlic prices decreased to 110 Rand per kilogram. Spinach prices increased to 5 Rand, while sweet potatoes decreased by 3% to 5.78 Rand per kilogram. The latest pumpkin price increased to 3 Rand per kilogram last week. Over in the fruit markets, the banana price decreased to 7.13 Rand per kilogram, which is about 128 Rand per 18 kilogram box, with volumes decreasing by about 1% week on week. There might be slightly better prices over the next few weeks due to higher demand and volumes that remains on a relatively lower compared to the previous 3 years. We usually see a slight upward tick during August for banana prices. The latest apple price increased to 9.17 Rand, while the latest pear price increased by almost 11% to 10.81 Rand per kilogram. I think that the apple and pear price can continue in its upward trend for now. The orange price decreased by almost 3% to 5.20 Rand the past week, with volumes on the local markets decreasing by almost 13% week on week, with any real upward momentum that will only start from September onwards. In the avo market, we saw the price increasing by about 2% to 15.48 Rand per kilogram, while Viertes traded higher on 20.26 Rand, Haas on 11.39 Rand, and Pinkertons decreasing to 14.53 Rand. We are expecting more volumes during August to keep prices around current levels. However, from September onwards, we might see prices starting to improve and peak around November of this year. The average table grape price increased by more than 90% over the past week, currently trading on 102.26 Rand, with volumes increasing by more than 20% week on week. During July, it is likely that this price can stay on a higher level during the coming week at least, but we usually see a slight dip in prices during August. The latest pineapple price traded lower on 7.93 Rand, lemons increased to 4.45 Rand, while the average blueberry price traded lower on 102 Rand per kilogram. Join us at this year's International Fresh Produce Association's Southern African Conference from August 5th to 6th at the Century City Conference Centre in Cape Town for the premier event in the fresh produce industry. This year's conference is meticulously designed to provide delegates with the latest insights on issues affecting their bottom line and future growth. Whether you're a seasoned professional or new to the industry, this conference is an opportunity you can't afford to miss. Secure your spot today and be part of shaping the future of fresh produce in South Africa. This video is made possible by John Deere, FieldNet Pivot Watch, and the International Fresh Produce Association. Visit our website at amtrends.co.za for more detailed reports, our latest prices and videos. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe, and thank you for watching.